MTA officials say they are in desperate need of funding to move these infrastructure projects forward. One of those projects, for example, here, the next phase of the 2nd Avenue subway extension from the 96th Street station. And today, MTA board members are expected to vote on a contract to oversee construction of this extension. It's a project funded in part by congestion pricing, which of course you'll recall was slated to end March 21st, then received a 30-day federal deadline extension. Now, on top of all this, the MTA says it needs over $68 billion to fully fund its capital plan. To do so, Governor Kathy Hochul sent a letter to President Trump, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, and congressional Republicans calling for a fair share of federal transportation funds for the MTA. Governor Hochul pointed out that while the MTA carries 43% of the country's mass transit riders, it receives just 17% of federal transit funding. The Transportation Secretary, however, fired back in a post on X, calling the request outrageous, saying, quote, "The MTA is running a deficit thanks to New York's financial mismanagement, and they already receive billions in federal funding. Instead of addressing rampant crime that's scaring riders away or actually fixing their financial mismanagement, the state is trying to fill the gap with highway funds and taxing the working class," ends quote. Meanwhile, the head of the MTA, Jenna Lieber, insists there has been a 30% reduction in crime in the train system in the last year.
The governor and the legislative leaders are totally right. New York is being shortchanged dramatically. We have a ways to go before our riders will truly feel safe. But it makes no sense to me that allegedly pro-police and pro-public safety administration seems to be intent on attacking the NYPD, which is the finest law enforcement organization in the United States.
And lawmakers are exploring a range of funding options that include a corporate tax, a mobility tax. There's also even discussions about the possibility of a statewide tax. And all of these funding options are being discussed as this April 1st budget deadline looms.